Welcome everybody to Wrestle Geeks Recaps. I'm just going to start off by apologizing for the content that we missed. We had technical difficulties. Things are back on track. We will do our best to have everything up and running at 100% again. But we are recapping the April 22nd episode of Impact Wrestling, the go-home episode for Rebellion. I am your host from the Maritimes, the geek, Trevor Firth. I'm joined by our predictions champions, also from the Maritimes, the cream in your coffee, Jordan Talbot.
Who will retain?
We'll see. We'll see. And then, as always, the man who saved our Impact show last week and one-manned it. You saw it yesterday. A few days ago. This is the day before from when we recorded. But from the UK, the modern-day Viking, Jay Scriven.
How we doing, guys?
Can't complain.
I just want to thank you very much for that episode from last week, dude, for that recording. When my computer went to hell, you stepped up and got that done for me. Thank you very much.
It was so boring without you both, honestly.
I was hoping you could do a Vince Russo. I was really hoping you'd do a Vince Russo or Jim Cornette.
Jay doing Cornette accent would be really impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even picture you doing an American accent. I'll be honest.
I can't do accents. It's the one thing I can't do, honestly. I struggle with a British one, let alone anything else.
There we go.
See, if I try to do like anything British, I feel like I just sound like an idiot. So.
Me too.
I play Dungeons and Dragons, and I do voices when I play. And when I'm playing, I don't give a shit. I just do voices. But like in any other situation, no. But anyway, Impact Wrestling. We're gonna start off with BTI, and all I caught from BTI was the match. I did not catch anything before it. So Jay, did anything important happen on BTI before the match, or anything interesting happen?
So BTI opens up, and we've just got a quick recap of the press conference from last week. But as I was watching this, I saw a lot of people saying that they actually believe Swan could pull this off and win. Like so many people saying it, and not just from that show, all the way to this recording, people saying, "I reckon Swan can pull this match off."
I've seen it on social media. I'm impressed with how many people are getting behind him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll say this because I didn't get to say it at the last show for the press conference. The press conference really did the most important things for a press conference. Whenever you do a contract signing, you got to have both guys feeling like they have a chance to win. And it's just amazing how both guys came off in this. You had on one hand Rich Swann looking like, a guy who just wants to do this for the company, who wants to, just prove himself. And the way Kenny Omega came in, just after when everyone started, then you hear his theme song and, they just walk in like, I just love how they are making this very, very simple. Kenny Omega is better in so many people's eyes than Rich Swann, and he knows it. So it's really smart how they're doing this.
Definitely. I think they're doing really well. Tony Khan mentioned that they've got the contract signed that if Rich Swann wins, then he's going to be on AEW every week. But personally, myself, I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah,
I do not see this match ending with a double or a DQ or countout. It will not end that way.
It can't. They promised so much. If they let this happen, then it's just, I don't know, lost all faith then, I suppose.
Which I gotta admit, Tony Khan is right about that. If you watch AEW, their shows none of their matches really ever end with faulty finishes. I mean, really, when you think about it, I can't remember the last time it happened. Like DQ or countout wins, really.
No.
It's not common.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not common. Let's leave it at that. They've been smart.
Mm-hmm.
I really.
So carry on.
There's the idea of like how that Swan versus Omega, man. Like I really like. I'm so torn on that.
Mm-hmm.
So torn on it. I really am. Like I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yep.
Anyway. Keep going. Anything else?
The rest of BTR, we get a promo from Diana who's saying she's not wrestling tonight, but she's going to scout Daniel Dashwood. You get a video of Samoa Joe in there, obviously, because he's just been released.
Mm-hmm.
And then Iceman's intel. Now this, he said, what's been going on is paranormal activity backstage at the Impact Zone. There's like strange sounds and ghostly things happening. And that was his intel. It's obviously too young in my eyes, I reckon it is.
Definitely.
But,
Well, yeah. That's weird.
Iceman intel was really good to begin with. And now it's a bit
Pointless.
fizzled out. Yeah. It's very fizzled out. It's just what's this for? Why are you even putting this on the show? But other than that, then we go to the match. So this is Madman Fulton versus Fallah Bahh versus P.T. Williams.
Yeah.
And then I've got Ace Austin, TJP, and TJP, I said his name right. And Josh
That's terrible.
So, I'll be honest, just the idea of these three in a triple threat match on BTI, I'm just like, oh, just the fact that they put it on BTI tells you right away. I'm like, yeah, it tells you everything you need to know about like how they feel about these three.
Mm.
If it wasn't obvious before, the three outside of the ring are the Shawn Michaels of the group.
I think out of all three of the guys in the ring, you know, if those three outside are the Shawn Michaels, Madman Fulton is the Diesel. No doubt about that.
Oh, no, hands down, and that works for them. Ace and we've compared them to HBK and Diesel before, and I love it. I love it. They do it so good.
No, I agree. And the match itself was not too bad. The one thing I don't like about it is with it being before Impact, you can kind of see the timer running down. Really, really, it's like the final match of every show, but this one is like, okay, so you can see where it's going to start and where it's going to end, and you just see the timer, and you're like, okay, this is winding down now to come to the end. But yeah, so the match ends with P.T. Williams going for the Canadian Destroyer off the top rope to Fallah Bahh. He doesn't do it. He falls to the floor. Josh Alexander jumps up, punches Fallah Bahh in the head, and then P.T. gets the pin on Fallah Bahh because Madman has tried to make the save for Ace Austin, who's been chased up the ramp by TJP. It just seemed like a big kind of like kerfuffle outside. It was a good few, but yeah.
Very shocked that P.T. Williams won this.
I'm not.
I really thought Madman was going to win.
Really?
Yeah, I just look at Madman as, you know, I was thinking I believe Ace Austin's going to win on a Rebellion. That's just a spoiler for my pick. But I really thought if you're going to build Madman and Ace as, you know, maybe a future tag team, I think you should give them both, you know, singles wins to make them both look strong.
See, I expected Fallah Bahh to win it. Because
what?
Josh, yeah, no, listen to me. I'll explain why. So I expected Fallah Bahh to win it because Josh Alexander got the win last week. Yeah. Then it would have been TJP's team getting the win this week. And then at Rebellion, Ace Austin getting the win.
No, this just telegraphs that Josh is not getting the win. in my opinion. Or it confirms that he's getting the win. No, we all know Josh is gonna win. You know why, right, guys? Because normally, when you go up against somebody, you got 50-50 shot. I can't keep doing it. I cannot do it. It's genius. It's great. I'm happy Petey Williams did that.
That was one of the reasons I was so sad about the technical issue, because you guys both know how happy I was to see Petey Williams do the greatest math that was ever done in wrestling history.
No, man, my laptop was like melting. It was not good.
All good.
Okay, but let's go into the show proper.
Yeah, so we open up and the show just hypes Rebellion. Like,
oh yeah,
that is, and they're doing a good job of it, because like I said last week, I am so hyped for Rebellion. Like,
yes,
it's
absolutely.
But then you have Decay versus the Good Brothers to open the match,
which is not a bad opening at all.
God, no, it was so good. Such a good match. Like, this is tag team wrestling. This is, when I think Impact tag team wrestling, I think Decay. I think LAX. Right? I don't mean the original LAX. I mean, like, Proud and Powerful LAX, honestly. I think of guys like that.
Yeah.
But I'm a newer age fan. Good Brothers are totally, like, becoming that tag team for me. Where, like, they are Impact Wrestling tag team. Like, that's just who they are. They are the Impact Wrestling tag team division. And that is badass. I love it. Tarus and Steve are just such a whimsically twisted horror team, and I love it. Like,
I'm impressed with their teamwork.
Yeah. It shows that they've been working together. They've been really, like, this was not thrown together. These guys took time in the gym and really worked at it. I love it.
One thing I do want to mention, that it was mentioned on commentary that Rebellion, for the first time ever, a TNA or Impact Wrestling thing is going to be on the PlayStation Network for the first time ever.
Very cool.
As an Xbox user, I just have to say, what the? I will admit, I'm sitting here going like, but I used to have you when you were at the Global Force fucking network. Now I don't have you any. It pisses me off, man.
It's a hard life.
I'm like, what the hell?
You can't get Impact Plus on the PlayStation, but this is just like one step forward. You can see that wrestling's really becoming mainstream again, and it's nice.
It's a beautiful thing, that's for sure.
It is. He's a wrestling fan for so long, to be able to see, wrestling as just, I don't mean Impact, I just mean all wrestling. Like, Impact are now on some other streaming thing where you can just go onto the Impact channel, and we've finally got New Japan over here, and they're old, but we can watch New Japan over here in the UK and stuff like that. So yeah, it's getting really good.
I will say, like, now that the WWE Network is no longer just like a thing that people can offer, that people can, like, that places can just be like, oh, here's the WWE app, here's the network app. Well, what are you going to replace that with? Now there's a hole for the wrestling community that you had on these consoles and in this little marketplace, and right? And yeah, where are you going to get it now? Well, Impact has their own network. You know what I mean? So where else are you going to go? Like, there's no, ROH has one, but
who cares about ROH?
Not just that. It's just I don't even remember what it's called anymore. It was not great at the time. I had issues with it when using it.
We still have the WWE Network.
Okay. Well, we do here in Canada too. It's primarily like an American thing when it comes to Peacock, but I'm sure it's going to affect other countries at some point soon.
So how did the match between Decay and Good Brothers end?
Yeah, so the Good Brothers get the Magic Killer on Steve for Carl to pick up the pin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the promo that Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows cut, which was really great, because it was pretty much Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows saying to everybody, like, it's sad to say, a lot of fans don't realize how big these guys were in Japan. Like, when they came to WWE, I'm sure a lot of fans were just like, oh, these guys, they're part of that group Bullet Club. Oh, they've made a little bit of noise, something like that. They don't realize that, man, these two are one of them, like, before coming to America, they were, the best way to put it, they were GOD before GOD. They were the tag team of the heavyweight division. They were the heavyweight tag team division, in my mind.
You have a knack for pissing people off by just
I love
saying
it.
things.
Oh,
Like,
well.
oh my god, dude.
Oh, well. If Tama messages me, I'll take that as a huge honor. But anyway, they did a great thing of just like really hyping up the fact that 2020 was horrible, and yeah, maybe they came in lightly, but now they're ready to kick ass and they're going to get their belts back, and you really felt like this intensity with the Good Brothers, which is just awesome.
I agree. What I'm disappointed with is Decay losing again. This is the third match in a row with the Good Brothers that they've lost. I know it's not with the Good Brothers as a team, but Doc beat Black Taurus, Carl Anderson beat Crazy Steve, and now the Good Brothers have beat Decay. So if the Good Brothers do regain their titles at Rebellion, how can you put Decay in the tag team scene with them when they've literally just lost? Each member has lost to the other member, and then they're lost as a team. It just feels a bit like one of those matches.
They'll figure something, I think.
I mean, they're gonna have to.
Mm-hmm. Because that's a matchup I want to see on a pay-per-view. Especially like a Monsters Ball match. I'd love to see that.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
I'm just hoping they don't turn into another Triple XL with just losers.
Yeah.
I think that's everything we have to say on this one, honestly.
Yep.
So then we go into the Impact roster. I'll just drop in a few names like Storm, Cardona, or just saying that they think Swan's going to get the win.
Yeah,
they want Swan.
Which is cool. I like that.
Yeah. And then you get a promo from Violent by Design, just hyping Rebellion. Which is a thing that I wanted to ask. What do you think is going to happen with Eric Young? Obviously, with his torn ACL.
I think I'm going to just shoot it for the dark. I think maybe they'll surprise people by bringing in a replacement member, maybe a fifth member.
Like, oh man, who would really fit that's out there that could work? I'm going to start thinking about this now.
See, my making an impact before Trevor wimped out. Yeah, my making an impact was someone to join by Design.
There you go. Maybe that's how it's going to go. You were right about The Rock, as you like to remind us.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we get Susan versus Dashwood.
Wow, that's a first.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you said her name.
You didn't call her crackhead.
You didn't call her crackhead. That's.
I know, and it's because I have a new found respect for her dancing.
Man, I heard the theme song. I heard her theme song, and I just instantly started picturing that moment again, where she's dancing. I just started picturing the backstage. I'm like, God damn it. Sorry, keep going.
This match was a good match.
This is amazing.
I've got a match. It really showed Dashwood as actually a contender. It's not just a glitzy glamour kind of. I don't even know what you call it. Just there for pictures, really.
Yeah. Off player, no style over substance. I guess a lot of people would say about.
That makes sense.
She did a beautiful She did a beautiful suplex into the corner. If everybody saw that. Butterfly suplex into the corner.
It was absolutely amazing. I loved it. Tennille can go.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people sleep on her and don't realize how good she really is, in my opinion. I will say Impact is not the place where she has shined the most either. If you go look at some of the stuff that she's done on the indie scene, she's put on some crazy good matches.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. Like I'm excited almost as much as I was when I heard that Tennille was signed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like this is what I've been waiting for since Tennille got signed. I've been waiting for her to go up against somebody like Deonna.
Mm-hmm. And how did the match end?
So Daniel Dashwood kicks Susan, then she drops a drop kick, and then she pins her. There was quite a good few spots, like you said about the suplex in the corner. Do you know what? Watching Susan, she reminds me of a parody of a normal person. That's what I get from her.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So after the match, we get a promo from Tennille and Deonna both in the ring. And I love that Tennille is playing the, like, when you have heel versus heel, it's really hard sometimes to really, like, make sure that one isn't looking like a genuine baby face. And, because I think Deonna needs to stay heel. I love her as a heel. But I loved how Tennille is just like, she's so confident she could beat her. And I love that she's pretty much saying, who's bigger than you? Me. You got Caleb with the K doing the whole like, look at her, she can do it. She's prettier than you. And it's just like, and I just love that they're making this very simple, like, it's two heels that are just going at it, and they're not doing the stupid thing of saying, oh, we're going to make her a face right now just for this feud.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was a good job not to turn. But heel versus heel is a lot easier to pull off than face versus face in my eyes.
Oh, without question.
But they're doing a good job of keeping both heel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tennille's, like she says, I'm the reason that you're even a knockout, and and really just really hype the match for Rebellion in my eyes. Again, I'm so pumped for Sunday that everything in this show I enjoy it.
I do believe Tennille versus Deonna is going to be either the best, or is going to be the best match on the undercard of before the main event. I think that's going to just knock it out of the park because these two women are just amazing talents.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Kenny Omega and Rich Swann in the main event, I'd say this was going to be match of the night. But Kenny Omega and Rich Swann in the main event, so. But yeah.
Talking about Kenny Omega,
yeah, go for it.
They actually said at some point in the show that no third parties were allowed to be there, so like the Good Brothers couldn't be out or anyone else.
I love that.
Just adds to that stipulation of someone's going to walk out a winner.
Yeah, and the great thing I think they're doing is they're making it almost feel like because really you have to go all the way back to like the 80s when they would do champions versus champions of two companies, and to just throw out the best idea that you could use is Jerry Lawler versus Kerry Von Erich when they had those two guys, the AWA versus World Class, and you had this very simple battle of champions. And I love the fact that they are making this really simple. They're not, making this super convoluted. They're making it two champions facing each other. Who's going to win?
Yeah. Man, you're right. I absolutely love that. That's something we don't see, we never get to see that on TV. We get to see it in little indies here and there, but that's it. Anybody realize though, there's going to be two referees.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have Aubrey Edwards to make sure
One of
that
my favorite referees.
Yep. Make sure nobody intervenes. So I'm
could have had Earl Hebner and done a screw job.
Ah.
Oh my God, no. I mean, like, they made references to it. They've made references to a Canadian getting screwed over, and
Could you imagine if they did? If Rich Swann puts him in the sharpshooter? Could you imagine?
That would be hilarious.
I
don't know. It would be something.
I don't think you can realistically do that storyline, a storyline like that, while on TV while Bret Hart is still alive. Because if you did, that would be the cause of his death. His reaction to that would be a heart attack, dude.
Well, how did he die? He died because he watched wrestling.
He watched your stupid angle. It gave him a heart attack.
So we keep going. We get a promo backstage by Brian Myers, which I thought was one of his best promos, where he talked about pretty much, he sees through his partner and says that he's going to finally just, he's going to finally get rid of, this guy who's just been in his way for a decade. And I don't know why, but when he took off his eye patch, he looked like a freaking one of the coolest people I ever seen. That was just cool. How he just, I don't know, he just looked super cool when he did that.
I mean, he looked cool in the motions, but the action itself for me was very like, I was just like, yeah, we know.
I thought it was cool.
Should have done it like during the match or something.
Yeah.
I like when he said to Matt Cardona, "You're just another roster cut." Now I understand that's the name of his finisher, but with all the cuts that WWE have done, and he's just basically that whole line just said to me, it just said, "You're nothing."
Yeah.
Like, and I kind of like that. That was really good.
Yeah. We also get some more people saying who's going to win the main event. We got Havoc, who says Rich Swann's going to win. And you got the Good Brothers, of course, saying Kenny's going to win. But I don't know why I laughed so hard. Rohit just saying, Kenny's going to win. Because and I think you need that for this kind of thing, because you need to have somebody on Impact who says, well, Rich Swann's facing Kenny Omega. I mean, really, you're going to probably lose to him.
I think that's the one thing, and also like finally it got mentioned on AEW that Impact are going to be having this match.
Yeah,
which it should have been hyped for ages. Like it should have been something that should have been hyped for a long time.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's nice to see most of the roster.
I'm sorry, I had to step away for 2 seconds. The Rohit part, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to Rohit, I'm just gonna say, Canadians stick up for Canadians, man. What?
Yep. I love that guy.
It's what we do.
Love him. But then after that, we get this. Man, whenever I see the freaky television static thing, I'm like, yes, Sammy Callahan's doing that's. He's the only guy I know who can do that kind of promo. The one where he has the camera near him, and he's just looking at the camera like he's like the Joker in Dark Knight. The best way to put it.
Yeah, it was a good promo. Sammy, yeah. I love Sammy.
Yeah. How he talks about how he was doing this all for Trey. Together they could have controlled everything, and how he is going to make sure after Last Man Standing, he's making sure Trey will never walk again. And it was terrifying because Sammy is just a master of pulling off a promo where you really think, Jesus, Trey is going to get hurt in this match.
You believe it. You believe every single word coming out of his mouth, and I love it.
Yeah. like the best way to describe his style of promos is if you look back at the old Four Horsemen and how you always had Ric Flair doing his thing, and then you had Tully Blanchard saying his thing, but then you had Arn Anderson saying, "I'm going to kick your ass." And you knew they were going to kick your ass. That's the best way to describe Sammy Callahan's like threats. Like he could tell a really good story, but at the end of the day, he's going to hurt you.
You believe
and
it.
You believe he's going to hurt you. Yeah.
Yeah. Great segment.
So next we go into Keira versus Jake something. Now, do you guys know why this match is happening?
I don't know why it's happening per se, and I don't really care, but I will just say that Rohit looked like a badass.
Oh my god, yeah. Unbelievable how cool he looked.
How is this match happening?
Okay, so this match is happening because on Twitter, yeah, you've got Jake something backstage. Rohit comes in and just says, I can't even tell you what he says. You know, it was such a small... But then Rohit and Keira just kicked the shit out of something. Just
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, well, they did.
I mean something, the person, not just like they don't kick the shit out of a chair.
No, that's what I love about it. You could just say it like that on purpose. It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever watched Jake something with a live crowd?
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's fun.
I really enjoy it because, like, the "What's my name?" and the crowd always just yells back the "something."
Yep, I love it.
One of my favorite things with Jake something and Cody Deaner was when they're at the Deaner compound with Triple XL. I really like that match. That was a really good match. Yeah, but so this match ends with Keira getting the sky high and the pin over Jake.
Like, and he lifts him up super high.
Oh, he really does.
Unbelievable.
But so what's happened with Jake something and Violent by Design now? Is he just give up on those? Like it really feels like an open-ended. They've just left him like gone, you know, and that's sad, especially how badass.
Oh yeah. I really wouldn't be surprised, and I know there's going to be people going, "Why the hell would that happen?" I wouldn't even mind if Jake something, joined Violent by Design and did the classic. I tried to do it the right way, and I didn't get anywhere.
I'll be honest. When it comes to AEW and like weekly televised, weekly live shows, I can understand how you sometimes have a match like this, or have one or two matches like where you kind of lose the storyline for a bit, and then you come back. It's weekly TV. It's live. It's really hard. But this is, yes, it's weekly, but this is all pre-recorded.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so you have to have your plan before you do this, and you had to have seen that this stood out. So I'll be honest, I'm actually less. I'm harsher on pre-recorded shows.
Yeah.
Normally, when it comes to things like that.
But then we get, you were saying?
I was going to say, I agree. I just think Jake something's lost all his momentum. Like, look a few weeks ago when we were talking about him versus Moose.
Yep.
And
good, so good.
And we were saying that he could be a main eventer. We could put him in the main event right now, and he looks like a main eventer. And now, is he a mid-carder?
Yeah, I don't know.
More or less.
Yeah. But if we're done with that, now we get to what I believe was one of the most emotional, beautiful promos I've ever seen. And that is Tri Mcgowan at his school.
Trey Balboa.
What? Trey Balboa?
Trey Balboa.
Trey Balboa. Okay, we'll go there. Trey Balboa. So they're back at the school, and Trey is talking to his trainer, and you just felt nothing but the trainer. This was like a father-son thing, where he's telling his kid, anybody who is in the wrestling business, if you train somebody, you pretty much, they're like your kid. You look after them. people think like when someone trains somebody in wrestling, oh, that's it. You'd have no idea the connection that's there, man. Like I've seen it. It is beautiful. And Trey and his trainer in this just, oh my God, it was beautiful how his trainer was telling him, show them why you're Trey Miguel. Like, show them who you fucking are. And you had this amazing montage of his training. And I just felt like, holy shit, Trey Miguel, man, I want Trey to win. Like, I want him to win after watching that.
I'll be honest. I need Eye of the Tiger playing during that.
Yeah.
Like the whole time I was watching that montage, I had Eye of the Tiger playing in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I called him Trey Balboa. Like honestly, just watching that montage, and I was just like, and it just came out of nowhere as well. Like he was chatting, and then all of a sudden he's like, dun 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 dun. Like what?
The only thing that would have been better is if his trainer, after you guys were talking about that, the only thing that would have been better is if his trainer looked at him and said, and when you're down on the mat, you're going to hear this little voice and it's going to say, get up, you son of a bitch. Because Mickey loves you.
That would have been so good.
Oh, if he had said that, I would have the tear would have just flown. I would have been like, promo of the year, man. Promo of the year.
I mean, like months ago, like a month ago, we had some of the craziest promos and like
that
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Yep. All good.
But after that, we get a highlight of, I believe, Austin, TJP, and Josh Alexander. We get a highlight of those guys and their performances and everything, which is great because it's pretty much showing you these three incredible stars of the X Division and how completely different they are from each other.
Oh yeah, completely. It was a good. It's just highlighting again, hyping Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that Impact's felt like, especially BTI. The last 2 weeks has just been hyping Rebellion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, I like this because it's just like the ultimate mat wrestler, the ultimate high flyer, and the hybrid master. Yep. Right? It's really what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's going to be cool. And I love those. If you're going to do a triple threat, that is the way to do a triple threat. Like, that is a good way to do a triple threat.
The only thing that would have made it better, and I wish they could have done this, I wish this was an Ultimate X match.
I don't know, man. Like,
it feels like we haven't seen that match in a while.
I know a lot of people like the Ultimate X, but right now I feel like in this era of Impact needs to really define who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do Ultimate X eventually, but I feel like they should really hold off and really make it, because like when we do get it, it's gonna feel so special.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my main thing. I want to. I'd make the crowd wait. I'd make the fans really wait for it, and try some new stuff. Don't not necessarily as crazy and wacky as some of the stuff we had back in the day of Impact Wrestling, like the Reverse Battle Royal.
Oh, don't say that horrible shit.
Worst. We need that Triple Threat Revolver was really smart. Really cool. Like it was a great spin on something simple, and I feel like Impact needs to try more of that kind of stuff. And once they've really defined a little bit better who they are, which I feel like they're getting there, then they can bring back. They can do an Ultimate X match, but I don't really want to see more than one a year, and I don't want to see it as a scheduled yearly thing either, like Hell in a Cell is. I want to randomly pop up once a year.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
So Scott D'Amore talks about. So obviously we brought this up. So Scott D'Amore talks about bringing the TNA division back, but making it just a women's division and a separate show from Impact. So
I would love that.
So having a women's show and a men's show.
I have issues with a women's show that is called TNA. I'm not gonna freaking lie.
I agree.
Like,
I'm looking at it from the sense that I'm saying women could have their own show, and I think it would be amazing. Just don't have it called TNA.
No.
Because I don't know if they realize what TNA stands for in other areas.
Well, they do, because that's how Jeff Jarrett came up with the name, isn't it?
Yeah, well, with his good buddy Vince Russo.
He was fishing with someone, and he said,
sitting in a building that was called TNA, and he went, "Hey, I can change these letters to mean total nonstop action." And then they all had a laugh about it. And the next morning, when he woke up, drunk, still, he had that napkin that said total nonstop action, and he just went with it.
Now, here's what happened. He was at a strip club, and he had his guitars, and he just looked at all these slap nuts, and he just didn't know what to do. And so he just starts hitting each person in there, most of the strippers and the bartenders, all with these guitars. And he just he's hitting them, and he's not hitting them in the head, though. He's hitting them in the front area, and sometimes he's hitting them on the ass. And he realizes TNA, that could work. What do you think, Vince Russo? And Vince Russo just goes, I came up with the Montreal screw job, bro.
Oh, God. You know what? I don't know which one of our theories is more plausible, and that's sad. Anyway.
But we get into the Rich Swann in the ring, and Rich Swann pretty much makes it very simple. He talked about the disrespect of Kenny Omega, which he should. Yeah. It's simple. He should totally be pissed. Like, think about it. You're in the biggest match of your life, and your opponent pretty much thinks this is a win automatically. Like, the way he came into the press conference, like, as you said, Jay, Kenny walked in, like, with so much swagger, pretty much. Yeah. Like, this is a match I know I'm going to win.
His entrance music when he walked into it.
I know. Like, what a frick, but so genius. Swann pretty much says, you want to put your hands on me? We don't got to wait till Rebellion. Let's do it now.
So, Jay, when he calls him out, like, how do you feel, like, Kenny Omega's part? Like, Kenny Omega comes on screen, and, like, how did you feel about what Kenny Omega had to say about it?
Oh, I loved it. Like, honestly, it was absolutely awesome. Like, this was overshadowed for me by what came next.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I threw it to you for Omega, because I figure, hey, there's 3 people in this promo segment. There's 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very good, and Kenny talks about having being champion in 3 promotions and having 4 belts. Yeah.
What that would mean.
For people who don't know, could you tell them what are the companies he represents?
Oh, yes, it is. AEW World Heavyweight Champion, the AAA, is it Mega?
I believe so, yeah.
Mega Champion, yeah.
Yeah, Mega Champion. And then if he beats Rich Swann, he will have the combined TNA and Impact World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. And I agree with you. It was good, but completely overshadowed by Moose walking in.
I will say before we go into Moose, I love the fact that Omega is still treating this like how he doesn't wear a suit or anything. He's wearing just a shirt. It's like, Rich, it's gonna be a great match, but I'm Kenny Omega.
Well, to be honest, I hate suits and stuff like that. I hate wearing shirts and all that stuff. So if I had the choice, I'd wear like the blazer if I had to wear the blazer, like a jacket if I had to wear a jacket. But yeah, I'd be wearing a t-shirt. Like, I'd be wearing a band shirt or a game shirt or a wrestling shirt underneath because I don't care enough.
But then lights go out, we hear the music, and what happens, Trev? Take it away.
Oh man, Moose comes down, and Moose gives one of the best promos of his entire life.
Who was shocked that he showed up? Like, really?
I was legit shocked that he showed up. Honestly, like I did not expect it.
Rebellion.
Yeah, I expected to see him at Rebellion. I did not expect to see him on this episode. And it was really cool. I really liked it.
Extra point.
Yeah. But, man, the promo he gives, like, he gives Swan all the props in the world, and he tells him how good Swan is, but also says that if you lose to Omega, like, it's not an option for you. You cannot lose to Omega because I am the consequences of you losing that belt to Omega. And I'm like, man, the last time we saw Moose, he was like going toe to toe with Jake something and getting his ass kicked. Last time we saw Moose in the ring with Swan, he lost against Swan. But he still feels like a bigger star than Swan does. From the moment he walked in, the moment he left, he felt bigger than anybody else on the show tonight. And that includes Kenny Omega.
Yeah. I will say what I loved most about Moose's promo, and this is what I think, like you said, how you talked about, he said, you cannot lose or everything. It's such a sweet little way of people saying, if Rich Swann loses, it's expected. And Impact looks second best to AEW. It's such a nice, gentle, just a gentle telling of Rich Swann, you lose, you're letting everyone down.
Yeah, love it.
How many people are going to kick Swan's ass next Thursday?
Oh,
if he loses, like, the entire Impact roster is just going to like beat him down.
I would rather they do the whole they just don't even look at him. Like, you let us down, man.
you're not even here. Even Willie Mack, like, Matt goes to talk to him and then just walks away. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be the imagery.
They should make him go change in the hallway or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude,
that would actually, I'd love that because it gives like a great redemption story.
It would.
Yeah.
It's a great storyline. That's a nice way to take it.
Or it even works in the way where a redemption, or does he just, doesn't care anymore?
He's just, yeah.
Maybe what he does, so he loses, he gets shunned by Impact Wrestling, so he goes over to AEW to chase down Kenny.
That'd be cool.
Last thing I'll say, and the one last thing I'll try to put in, or he almost pulls a Naito, where he just doesn't care anymore and just becomes tranquilo.
That would be interesting.
Just an idea, but
that's a really, I don't know if the American crowd would really gravitate to that storyline, because when I talk to, unless like I'm talking to somebody who's been watching New Japan for years, when I talk to American New Japan fans, people like Naito, but they don't really get his character. They don't really understand the gimmick, and I'm like, no, because he's 10 years of history.
Yeah.
Literally, Naito is one of those guys where, like, to understand him as a wrestler, you need to understand the last 10 years of his career.
Yeah. But now let's go into the next match. Jay, if you would please.
Little promo from Taylor Wilde, like just.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so I've got nothing to say about it. Either.
She's coming back on the episode after Rebellion, I assume. The last episode of the month.
I do like that they did include footage of her past in TNA, so at least people know that she was. For people who don't realize, she's part of TNA's history.
I mean, they've already said she's a former champion as well.
Yeah, she's a former champion. She was one of the first knockout tag team champions, and So anyway, the match, we get Keira Hogan versus Big Mama Pump, Jordan Grace.
And this was good.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good match, dude. I liked it.
Jordan Grace, baby.
Not even 3 minutes.
It's a squash match, though. I mean, look. First squash match was fun.
Because Steele just runs in, like, after 3 minutes and right in front of the referee. It's the one part of the show that I was disappointed with. The match could have been so much better.
I like the action that they had. I understood the storyline that they were trying to tell, and so for me, it's fine. Like, I'm like, the match throwaway, because we weren't. I don't want to see Keira Hogan versus Jordan Grace in a one-on-one full-time in a long-term match again, because I've already seen it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So them doing a quick little squash like this and throwing it out was really good for me. But then when Rachel Ellering walked out as the partner, I instantly cringed.
Really?
Okay, here's how I see it. She was in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
They told everybody that she was Paul Ellering's daughter, but didn't actually let her use the last name Ellering. Stupid move.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't get over. But they didn't really use her. Whatever. She went over to the indie scene, did some stuff. She was in AEW for the women's tag team tournament that they had, and she was trash.
Mm.
She's one of those people I feel literally only gets around because of her name. She's a second generation, and she uses that to her advantage, and people keep giving her opportunities because of it.
Mm. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you carry on, man. Honestly, I keep in touch.
No worries. First of all, about the match, I love the muscle buster she did. Like, anytime you can pull off that move, I mean, that's my favorite finisher of all time, the muscle buster, because it looks so cool.
Yeah, and this was recorded before Samoa Joe was released, so that's just cool coincidence.
And
I was nodding in the background.
that was pretty cool. Just doing that little cool stuff. Like, and it was an awesome. I mean, I was sad that it was as you said, Jay. It really was super super quick. I will agree that was a bummer. But Rachel Ellering, I always go when I think about like talent that may have been trash in other places. I always think like maybe they can be better. I have no idea. Like, and I'm gonna once again probably piss off Trev by saying this, but we all remember when Tonga Loa came in and joined Tama Tonga. There were people who thought that was horrible because Tonga Loa had just seemingly always been a guy that got so many opportunities and never did it. But him and Tama knocked it out of the park, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, people said that, but I didn't understand it at the time either. Because, to be honest, because people were like, "Oh, he's been given so many opportunities." I'm like, as a singles wrestler, now he's being given an opportunity as a tag team guy. Like, there's a difference.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of people just don't. Like in New Japan, being in the tag division is not a demotion.
No. If you can get over with the tag team, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So for me, I always hold out that maybe the person just needs, something to get them over, and I'm hoping this works because I would hate for this to, not go well because I think this tag team match is going to be good.
Yeah.
See, what I've got to say about this is I want Fire and Flavor to win. Yeah. I enjoy them as a tag team. But if Jordan Grace doesn't win this, what they've got to do something with her after that.
Yeah, massive losing streak.
And it is just, how many times has she gone for the tag team titles?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier about the idea. Like, I'm all for them adding a women's show, but they don't have the roster for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's little like, be careful what you're doing, guys. Like, if it was a cross-branded Impact AEW show, that would be different.
Oh yeah, without question. That'd be so good.
That'd be amazing, but they're not going to do it.
And Rachel Elleringham makes a debut, and the Black Hole Slam she did look good. Again, I've not seen any of her work before.
Yeah,
I don't watch NXT. I know who she is, but I've got no opinion on it. I don't really care that that's her partner.
I've never seen a performance of hers that I really enjoyed that much.
Mm.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to be rough, but generation. She's generational. When you're generational, you are held to a higher standard to an extent. Mm-hmm. And if not, then that your name should not be with getting you bookings.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Then we get a little recap from last year's Rebellion. Chris Baby, I can't even remember who it was. Some other people, and then we go into a Finches promo.
Knew this was coming. Yep, here we go. Go ahead, Trev. That's all you. It's now time for everyone's favorite part of the day. Trev doesn't like it.
I mean, I don't even have a rant for it at this point. No, seriously, I don't even care. I do not care. I have zero interest in that tag team match from this perspective. I'm just like, can Good Brothers just kick your ass so we can get the tag team belts back and actually do something, please?
I love how Finches have, defended their tag team titles all over Japan. I love that.
Oh, yeah, it's so great.
Please don't, Jay. Please don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear.
I mean, love
no, literally, I'm just at the point where, like, I tuned it out, man. I don't remember the promo. I don't care anymore. They show up on my Impact screen. I'm like, I haven't seen you defending in New Japan. I don't care. Everything you're going to say to me is a lie, so I don't care. You're actually the heels.
Oh.
No, like, they are. From my perspective, because I watch both programs, Good Brothers are actually the faces, and they're actually heels in this case. Because Good Brothers are at least honest about how big of an asshole they are. You know what I mean? So, but they're straight up lying to us every week. So, I don't know. I don't know if we reported these before kicking off, and the plan was, but like, they have footage from after. Man, no, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Well, sent over from Japan. You have just Japanese signs in the background and stuff, don't you? So, and they call Big Bald Baby, we've woken up the sleeping giants, and at Rebellion we'll show you we are the best tag team. And that was literally the promo. It was, 2 minutes long, maybe?
Yeah. So, skipping that so that Trev can put the vein back in his forehead.
Oh, no, that's called being a dad. That's just there now.
Aw, that's dope. We get a little look at the highs of both Rich Swann and Kenny Omega, which was great.
Yeah.
Showing that both guys are really talented. I mean, that's all you need to...
I didn't need more hype at this point. After that promo segment with Moose and that, I was like, I don't need more. I don't need more for that match. Like, I'm fine. That's the way I feel. But... And
then we get our main event.
Moment, isn't it? The hype for Rebellion is just literally down for every chance they get. On social media, on everything, like on Access TV, like literally this week is just a hype for Rebellion as well.
That's fine. Like, they need to do that.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Great. But yeah, what do we got? What do we got next?
So we go into Eric Young with Violent by Design versus Eddie Edwards with everyone left on the roster. Yeah, this match. So Young actually said this is one of his best matches he ever did. Ever had beforehand. So I was really hyped for the match. It wasn't as good as it was hyped. In my eyes. Like, it was a good match, it was, they really did some good stuff. At one point, Rhino's on the outside of the ring looking like he's going to ask someone to borrow some money. Like, he stood there, like, really just kind of like, like he wants to get involved, but he just looked like he was going to ask to borrow someone money, so maybe he's the new crackhead.
Aww.
But so we get Eric Young. Eric Young and Eddie Edwards both get some near counts. They all brawl on the outside. Eddie's outside, and then Eric Young. So as Eddie gets back in the ring, Eric Young gets the roll up and gets the pin. Basically, that was the end of the match, and then they all brawl to end Impact.
It was a very AEW ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
say that. Like, they just took a page out of AEW's book when it came to the ending here. But they don't do it every week. So because they don't do it every week, I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Go on.
I'll just say, was the match as good as I thought it would be? It was good. That's what I'll say. I mean, is it Eric Young's best match? I really don't agree. I completely agree with you on that, Jay. I think he's had, a lot better matches than that. But, these are two of my favorite wrestlers, so I'm happy to watch them wrestle in the main event of a show.
He did this friggin' injured,
Yeah.
He did
That
this
too.
on one. And you could, at a few points, I noticed his leg was hurting him.
Mm-hmm.
He limped times.
I mean, this is like the third match he did with an injured leg, so yeah. Yeah, if it's going to start showing, it's going to be now.
I really hope he's replaced at Rebellion, because I don't want him just stood on the ringside.
Yeah, I'd hate that. That'd be so horrible.
Well, I mean, it's been a while since the TV tapings. Rebellion is live, I believe, since the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an actual pay-per-view. It's not an Impact special. So, yeah.
I wish we had a crowd for it.
Sorry?
I wish we had a crowd for it. Crowds are coming back now,
Yeah.
I wish we had...
It'd be nice.
That would be beautiful.
Even if it's just not fans, like superstars from like AEW. Yeah, wrestlers.
What I would love for them to do is have a section of fans or wrestlers from Impact and a section of wrestlers from AEW to have that cool little like interpromotional like company feud kind of thing. I think that would be the best way to do it if they wanted a crowd.
I completely agree.
And plus, if you're a wrestler, you'd want to watch this match. Like, really?
I'll be honest. Most of the wrestlers I know, like a lot of people in the wrestling community I know, are like, man, I'm tuning in to watch Rebellion. I'm like, you dropped money on an Impact pay-per-view?
Yep. When have you heard that?
Like, you laughed at me a year ago when I paid for Hard to Kill. Right? I'm like, haha.
I've already pre-ordered it on my PlayStation.
PlayStation taking advantage. See, if I had the Xbox, I could do the same.
I
had it on Xbox.
This morning I went on there and I was like, "Yep, I'm just going to buy it now so I can watch it live." That's it.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you can't watch it on your Xbox, Trev. But you can't spell sucks without X.
I mean, I very much can, but
sure you can, Trev. I can't because I am the champion of predictions.
And speaking of,
ooh, I segued into that really good.
Right into that. Good job, dude. Patting back. So let's go through the Rebellion card and call out some predictions.
Before we start, Trev, do you want to explain how it works for people who may not understand?
Yeah. So we just go through each match in the card, choosing who we think is going to win, and then if we get it right, we get a point. Awesome. If it ends in a draw, champion retains. So Jordan would get to keep his title if it ends in a draw. Jordan has retained 2 Impact specials in a row, but this is a pay-per-view, so this could be it. This could be it. So
people are gonna buy Rebellion just to see if I lose.
I mean, that's a hilarious thought that you think you're that important.
That would be amazing. That would be such an ego booster. It's so sad for Impact, but so good for us.
Okay, so let's go through this. First of all, Sammy Callahan versus Tri Mcgowan. I say Trey's winning it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Trey.
You as well.
Yeah.
This one's tough. I told you guys that I really want Trey to win, but Sammy also is just a vicious animal. I'm gonna go with Sammy on this one.
Wow.
Right. So I just feel like it's Trey Miguel's time. The storyline has been built up, and it's like Trey has to win against Sammy. Or I guess he could lose against Sammy, and then Sammy finally recruits him. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Violent by Design versus Team Impact, I guess. Willie Mack, James Storm, Chris Sabin, and Eddie Edwards. So we don't know what's going to happen exactly with Eric Young. We don't know if he's being replaced or not. They haven't announced anything, so let's go with the assumption that Eric Young is there.
Mm-hmm.
Is the member, and that he's healed up and he's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So, because Violent by Design won at the last special at Hardcore Justice, I feel like this is the time for Team Impact to win it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Team Impact.
I've got Violent by Design.
Violent by Design.
Same here, Violent by Design. I think they need a pay-per-view win, not a plus win.
Fair. I'm going to do all the non-title matches first. Matt Cardona versus Brian Myers, which I don't believe there's any stipulation. This is just a straight-up one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
It's an eye for an eye match.
Yeah, I forgot to say, Trey versus Sammy is a last man standing match. I suppose it does put things in Sammy's favor. But yeah, Cardona versus Myers, I don't know, man. Myers, because I think I'm with Myers. Impact is his.
Mm-hmm.
Go somewhere else. We don't need you here. Unless Chelsea Green wants to come to Impact Wrestling, then it's cool, man. Matt Cardona can stay.
Love Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with Brian Myers too on this one.
Sorry, what was yours, Jack?
Brian Myers.
Okay, so all of us are going with Myers on this one.
Mm-hmm. It just seems like the obvious choice. Matt Cardona's already said that he's not here for the long haul, that he's just come over. You know, it's just going to be the end of his kind of like Impact run. Who knows? He's having fun. I know that much, but yeah.
X Division triple threat match.
Easy
TJP
pick.
Versus Josh Alexander versus the champion Ace Austin. Screw it, man. I'm going Team Canada, Josh.
I knew you would.
Yeah, I'm obvious.
There we go. Cool. My pick is the one and only Ace Austin.
Yep, I've got Ace Austin as well. I think he retains.
Poor TJP. Nobody loves him.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I was gonna match it up, but I just, no. He's got to win. He's got to.
I can't lie. That would have made the three-way match my personal favorite match to watch if all three of us had a different person picked.
Dude, pick TJP. Just do it.
I will change to TJP. Go on. I will change.
He said, peer pressure.
The first of our tag team title matches, Knockouts tag team title. Fire and Flava defending against Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering.
So with this one, I have Jordan Grace and Rachel winning because I think this match is going to open the show and it's going to open with a title change.
I think Jordan Grace and Rachel winning too, so that, Jordan can do it for Jazz. A tribute that kind of idea. Yeah.
What is wrong with both of you? Ain't nobody beating Fire and Flava.
No, I want Fire
best
Flavor
tag
to
team.
win.
I want Fire. I think Fire Flavor is good. I just think that's the way. And by the way, if they do win, if Jordan Grayson do win, I'm gonna message him going, "What's wrong with you? Huh? What's wrong with you?"
So are you
Bitches.
picking Fire and Flavor then, Trevor? Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you hear? What's wrong with you?
So next up, we've got Diana versus Daniel Dashwood.
Oh, this one's the hard one.
This one was a really hard one.
Oh God, you better. You want to take it first?
Yeah, I'm going with Diana retaining. Like I don't think this has been built up long enough for Daniel Dashwood.
Agreed.
I think, yeah, Diana needs to have a long run with that title.
Yeah. Are we all on Diana then?
Yep.
Oh, I'd love to be with Diana.
I'm going to make sure your woman hears that one.
Oh, she knows.
So next up, Finches versus the Good Brothers.
I think we all can say it all together.
Oh, come on. We all the Good Brothers winning this.
Oh, no, I'm going to do it on three. On three. 1, 2, 3. Good Brothers. Sorry, Finn Juice, you're finished.
They don't deserve them. They don't deserve those belts. If anywhere on Impact's official records it says that they have a title defense, I will be so pissed.
It doesn't. I actually look all the time.
Thank you. So
and then the main event.
I mean, I legitimately still don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you guys go first.
All right, I got this one. My pick, after thinking about it, I think it's going to go to Kenny because it just makes more sense. Because I think him as champion going on AEW will help the Impact World title. And I think it'll make a better story on Impact if Rich Swann doesn't win.
Yeah, see, I totally agree. I've got Kenny for a couple of reasons. One, Rich Swann's not been on AEW. You know, it's not been mentioned at all except for the episode just gone.
Mm-hmm,
Two, so from what I know of AEW, you look at Hangman Page, yeah, that whole like storyline he's got going, that's been building up for him getting his title shot and stuff. They're not going to waste that on Rich Swann. That's no offense to Rich Swann. I think he's an incredible athlete, but they're not going to waste that on Rich Swann.
Mm-hmm. And the great thing I think that people need to realize, a lot of people, of course, are saying that, oh, Impact's just doing this because, you know, they're just they're just trying to make AEW look great. It's helping them too. But if Kenny Omega wins, holy crap, Kenny Omega's Impact World Champion. Whoever thought that would happen?
That's it. I do think that after the match we might get John Moxley or someone from AEW come over and maybe help with something like that. I really believe we're going to have some sort of someone else from AEW rock up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm saying it's John Moxley because I know that Impact. I know one of the reasons they wanted to work with AEW is because they wanted John Moxley on Impact.
Mm-hmm.
Scott D'Amore said that.
Yeah, I would have no problem with that.
No, I love John Moxley.
Yeah.
He looks just like Dean Ambrose, though, don't you think?
I wonder what happened to that guy.
I know, yeah, I think he's dead.
He died.
Better than.
So we both picked Kenny. So who do you got?
I mean, it has to be Kenny Omega, right? Like, they're not going to pull this swerve with Rich Swann winning.
Mm-hmm.
I can't... there's two referees. I can't perceive anything happening where Kenny wouldn't be the winner, because if somebody's going to cheat, it's going to be Kenny.
What happens if... Oh my, okay, hear me out for a second. What happens if we have Tony Khan help Rich Swann win to get Don Callis and Kenny Omega kind of off their thing, so they don't have that control.
That. So you think Aubrey is going to be the crooked ref? I don't see that happening.
Not even the ref be the crooked one. Not even the ref be the crooked one. Tony Khan helps Swan win. I don't think it's going to happen, but how good would that be?
Or even, what if we even saw, like, if Don Callis helps, or if Don Callis, hey, if we're going, Team Canada, what if Scott D'Amore helps?
Oh.
I feel like if Don Callis comes out at ringside or even on the ramp, Scott D'Amore's going to come out.
Yeah.
But before since we already got that done, I do want to say this about Don Callis and Scott D'Amore. Hats off to them for what they've done with Impact Wrestling. I think we can all agree on that. I mean, what Impact was so many years ago was garbage. Now look at them. They are having a pay-per-view that is the talk of the town.
Yeah.
What did it take? What did it take? It took a Canadian parent company and 2 Canadians put in charge.
Canadians help wrestling.
Here we go.
One thing that bothers me is when people say that AEW is just going to buy Impact because Impact have got no money. And then you look at Athens and who they just brought. Like they've just brought a UFC, a martial arts company or whatever it is.
Invicta.
Thank you.
Yeah, they just bought like one of the premier women's MMA.
Yeah. Huge fan of Invicta, by the way. Huge fan.
That's
very
awesome.
Happy.
I'm not an MMA guy, so I don't really follow. It's cool though. I like that.
That's why I called it UFC.
No worries. But yeah, I think.
You know what you just sounded like? You just sounded like all those people who call wrestling WWE.
Oh
man, that's so bad.
That's a slap in the face.
Hold on 1 sec. Are you telling me all wrestling's not WWE?
That's worse than saying to him, you sound like one of those people who say the F word around wrestlers.
Oh God. I will admit, like I off topic. Before we end the show, last thing I want to say. I play Dungeons and Dragons tabletop games, and I have a new book called that I checked out called Monsters of America. And yeah, it's supposed to be like America, alternate history if there was magic and alien race and fantasy races. It's really interesting satirical read. They go a little too far on the Trump jokes, but overall it's pretty good. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is, first of all, there's a when you hit a certain level, you get a subclass. So you get like a specialization for your monk, if you're monk, and it's supposed to be a pro wrestler, and it's obviously based on people like Macho Man and stuff like that. But it's basically just labeled as like WWE superstar, and I'm like, ugh. So that's unfortunate, but we're going to end it there for tonight, guys. I'm super excited for this pay-per-view. I cannot wait. I assume we're all going to be watching it live, texting each other most likely while we're watching it.
It will be a big show.
It will be a huge show. But the Big Show himself will not be there.
You never know.
You never know. He could be anywhere now. So, guys, like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much for joining us. Leave a comment down below about your predictions, who you're looking forward to. Do you think Swan's actually going to win? If so, give us an argument, man. Let me know what you think. Let us know. And we will be here for our recap of Rebellion next week. Have a good one, everybody.
Or else.
Peace out.